I learned at a pretty young age in the fitness industry that education and expertise and knowledge doesn't really matter so much. It's not a highly educated industry. Most personal trainers don't have any degree in the field. It's not something that is really valued by the people who are doing the hiring. Now, that may be different in other industries where you have to have a degree to get a job, like physical therapy. You have to have a graduate degree in physical therapy to become a physical therapist. But because that's not the case in the fitness industry, people look for other things. They look for experience. They look for, looking the part. Personality matters a lot because you're one-on-one with clients a lot. It's a social atmosphere being in the gym. And so they look for other things, compared to what I value, which is the education and the knowledge and the expertise. Well, for me, it was never a question. I didn't want to put in all that time and all that effort to not finish the degree. I would have felt like I wasted a lot of years of my life. I would have wasted a lot of money to go to school. And so it was never a question for me as to whether or not I was going to finish this thing. I just had to figure out, well, what did my committee members need to see from me in order to let me pass and get on to the dissertation part and be able to finish my degree. Most of your years in school, you memorize to take the test, and then you pass the test. Mm-hmm. And at this level, I found that what they were looking for was something completely different than how you're trained in all your years of school, which doesn't really teach you how to think. I had to figure that out on my own. Yeah, I don't think it was just one single thing that turned things around. I think that I just have a very persistent personality. And I realized that, that being an entrepreneur and being an author, it's a numbers game. You're going to get a lot of no's. And even though I do take it personally, I realize that it's usually not personal. But, I just keep going. It's part of my personality. I'm just very relentlessly persistent. And that's always the advice that I give to others, is that you have to just focus on the end goal and what it is you want to accomplish. And, I've always had the attitude, even when I was younger, I've always had the attitude that I'm not going to let other people's no's get in the way of what I want to accomplish. You just keep going. It's a numbers game. So if one person says no, you just keep going to the next and the next and the next. And eventually, unless you have absolutely nothing to offer, eventually you're going to get told yes if you really have something. I know everybody likes to think that their idea is great, but you have to be objective and look at what you have to offer and say, well, do you really have something to offer or not? Yeah, so one thing I would tell people to do is, well, become known for something. I'm known as the running guy. I'm known in my industry as the running expert. That's one thing that people can do is to carve out a niche for themselves in their industry so that they become known as the expert in that niche. A couple of things. One is not to take things personally. And even all these years later, it's still hard for me because, like I said before, my work and who I am is intertwined. And so when I get rejected from something, it's hard not to take it personally because my work is who I am. But that's something I would definitely tell my younger self, is that even though it feels like it's personal, 99 times out of 100 it's not. That the other person is making a decision that has nothing to do with me as a person. It's just that they don't have any room for the idea that I'm presenting to them. Even though you have to take responsibility for your own success, the fact of the matter is that a lot of your success does depend on other people giving you what you want. And so you have to figure out how to get them to say yes. And if they're not going to, then you got to go to somebody else who's going to say yes. But someone's going to have to say yes, otherwise you're not going to be successful. And so you can either take a few no's and then give up, or you can just keep going. And for me, and I don't know, this may be different for me compared to other entrepreneurs, is that this isn't just some idea that I had that I wanted to pursue. For me, my work and my life are completely intertwined. My work is it's an extension of me.